Welcome back, everybody. It is Tuesday, and guess what? We got another UFC show for you today. I'm joined by Ryan, Pat, and Austin. I mean, I love the first show so much, we had to run it back.
Absolutely had to run it back.
For the greatest sport on earth.
Okay, I'm not... we're going to say that. Yeah. Greatest sport on earth. Let's get right into the headlines. I'm not going to ask you guys how you're doing. Maybe we'll ask at the end of the show. Jose Aldo's unretiring to face Jonathan Martinez at UFC 301. Why do you guys think he came out of retirement? Because he just retired, within the last year?
Money
Speaks. Money talks.
Got the bag from Dana. I'm not a big fan of fighters coming out of retirement.
I mean,
especially star fighters.
He's 37 years old. I don't know how much better he's not going to get any better.
Teixeira won a championship after 40,
He's
right?
at light heavyweight. There's a difference.
Whoa.
No, it's an entirely different thing because the last thing to go is power. These guys, the speed starts going, and speed's the most important thing. But yeah, of course, money is the biggest thing, and they don't have the star power at UFC 301 in Brazil. I mean, the main event right now is Pantoja versus Usyk, which I don't think anybody is particularly excited for.
Not me.
That's the main
not
thing.
at all.
I think this is a bad fight for Jose Aldo to come back to. I don't think he's been the same since he left featherweight and went down to bantamweight, and this fight is at bantamweight. I think it's bad. Jonathan Martinez is the next Jose Aldo. He uses leg kicks like Jose Aldo used to do in the WEC and when he was beginning in the UFC, when he was still at 145. But Jose Aldo doesn't use leg kicks anymore. I don't know what happened. I think something probably happened with his shin or his hips where it just hurts now that he can't do it. Because we saw in the Moran fight that when he starts using it, it starts going really well for him. It starts opening up his game a lot because they are vicious leg kicks. He's probably one of the best leg kickers in UFC history, but it's just something he doesn't do anymore, so I think it's a bad fight for him.
That was a close fight, though, the last fight with Merab.
It was close.
It was close.
It wasn't that close.
The thing is, though, exactly with Merab last time, but Martinez, he throws a lot of leg kicks. So
I think if Jonathan Martinez just keeps hammering him with leg kicks,
I think he's going to get killed.
I think it's just going to be a one-sided fight. I don't know why Jose Aldo is coming out. I mean, I know the money, he needs it. He's probably like, oh yeah, I can't make any more money because I'm just, CTE, but I'm gonna just.
Is that confirmed?
No.
No, Jose Aldo doesn't have CTE.
But we're gonna.
Do we know that though?
No, I mean, there's no way of knowing as of right now.
We're gonna fight and just I'm gonna get killed, and then get my bag and leave.
So we think Dana was like, this card stinks, but it's in Brazil. Let's
of course,
100%.
From what I've heard, Pereira put into his contract, if he wins 300, he gets to fight at that 301 card if he comes out healthy, which is a month away, which is a ridiculous thing to say. I don't think it's going to happen.
I mean, it's happened before.
It has happened, but not at a championship level.
I don't know why Pereira took
300
300 if he wanted to fight at 301.
That's why I think he put in his contract, because he wants to fight in Brazil. But they don't have any other big Brazilians that aren't already signed up to do a fight.
Yeah.
I mean, Glover Teixeira retired.
Burns just fought.
Oliveira's fighting at 300. Figueiredo's fighting at 300. They don't really have anyone. And Jose Aldo, who just got inducted to the Hall of Fame this past July, I guess his name came up on the card. He was still active. He was still boxing. He still can put on the gloves and fight and put on a good show. But I just don't think it's the best idea ever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree. But a guy that's connected to Jose Aldo, unfortunately for Aldo, Conor McGregor, his return to the octagon, I don't know when that's happening. I thought it was going to happen last summer. Apparently, McGregor says the UFC still has not reached out to him. Will he return to the octagon this year? Or, I mean, ever? Is ever a better question?
I can guarantee you that the UFC has definitely reached out to Conor McGregor.
Probably. I mean, he's the biggest name in one of the biggest names in sports, period.
Yeah, absolutely.
They definitely have. He's too busy fighting Jake Gyllenhaal in Roadhouse.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited
making
for the movie.
The movie's not going to be bad.
The movie is going to be trash.
But
it's
it'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun. You're right.
It'll be fun seeing Conor McGregor fighting Jake Gyllenhaal on a boat. I mean, I want to see Conor McGregor back in the UFC, but now that he's doing this Roadhouse thing, I don't think he's going to fit the timeline that he wants to fight in, June?
Yeah.
But the timeline was supposed to be like last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, after The Ultimate Fighter. Right after.
I heard November, and then I was.
And then I heard he wants a fourth fight with Poirier now too. So I don't know. This guy keeps going back and forth.
Chandler, I've heard Diaz, I've heard Oliveira, I've heard Islam, I've heard every single name you can go down the top 15. Conor has called them all out.
The only way I see Poirier doing a fourth fight is if he let's say that fight with Islam gets matched up, and then he loses that. I think maybe last fight against McGregor 4. That's the only way I can see. Because why else would Poirier do
against
that?
Islam?
He already took the money fight in 3 against McGregor.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you would do that.
Yeah, I mean, Conor isn't licensed right now, from what I'm understanding.
Is he even passing drug tests?
Well, I don't think
I don't
they're
think
testing
they
him at
take
all. I
him,
think that's
yeah.
why they got rid of USADA. Now, that's speculation. There's also a whole bunch of other reasons why they got rid of USADA. Because also they were paying him $70 million a year. I think they're just doing it in-house now.
That's insane.
Yeah, they're paying him some ridiculous amount of money.
Crazy.
But Connor just has no reason to come back to the sport anytime soon. He can
No.
take all his sweet time. He was the highest paid debut actor of all time in Roadhouse. He was
Really?
the highest paid UFC fighter of all time. And he's fighting Chandler, and he knows Chandler's just going to sit there and wait because Chandler doesn't really have any other options. Chandler's not going to go to the title. He's 41 years old.
Chandler's 41?
39 or
30,
41.
he's old.
I'm not
He's pretty
mistaken.
old.
I guess
39 or
because he
41.
came in
Yeah.
so late.
Yeah, he came from Bellator.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see Connor
And Chandler's
coming back
called him
this
out, what, like 4 or 5 times?
Who
like,
just
at
did
different
something?
spots.
Oh,
no,
like
Chandler's
recently?
just sitting there like,
McGregor?
oh yeah, I'll fight. Don't
And he,
worry.
he
like,
called
I'll
him
be
out
there.
on WWE too. Like
Oh yeah,
right
that did
after.
happen.
Ilya called him out.
Yeah,
everybody will call him out.
everybody.
Everybody will call out Connor because he's
Yeah,
the
he's
money
got
fight.
the
He's-
bag.
yeah.
Yeah, get the bag.
So do you think that's locked up if McGregor ever comes back it's against Chandler?
It's
First
Chandler.
fight?
It's
Yeah.
100%
Yeah.
Chandler. Chandler's also, I don't think he's a top 5 name in that division, but it's the lightweight division. They're all
exciting.
big names.
Yeah.
I think
He's
I think
exciting.
name-wise, I think he is top
might be
5.
right.
I don't think he's
Islam,
top 5,
Poirier,
period,
Gaethje,
but I think
Connor,
he is up there.
Tony. I mean, Tony's obviously.
Yeah.
Tony.
That's
Tony's
true.
falling
Well,
off.
Chandler
Yeah,
puts on a show every time he
Yeah,
fights.
he
so.
does.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I love McGregor. I mean, we're just staying in the lightweights. Charles Oliveira, again, having some problems with that cut above his eye. His last fight against Makhachev, he had to pull out of. I mean, he fights in next month, April 13th. What are you guys' thoughts on this? Do you think he'll end up having to pull out again? I mean, he said he didn't want to, but just what are you guys' thoughts on this in general?
I hope he doesn't pull out.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a cut right here. I didn't pull out of this show.
You're
so-
still
you're
performing here today.
You're also not fighting Armin Tsarukyan.
No,
Yeah.
this is
I'm
harder.
glad I'm not.
This is harder.
So,
10 times harder than
yeah.
whatever fight Oliveira goes into.
Exactly.
I think outside of Oliveira is 1 or 2 in my favorite fighters of all time.
Really?
So, of course, it's Max Holloway. It's between him and Max Holloway, and they're both fighting on that card. So
Yeah.
I'm very hyped. I think it's going to be the greatest card of all time. That's just my opinion. But I don't see a reason why he pulls out. It's already stitched up. He's still got 3 weeks left. It's going to heal up. Maybe not a bunch. He might get a cut during the fight. But he should be scared of Armin Tsarukyan. That is a tough
Yeah,
fight.
he
Do I
should.
think he can win that fight? Absolutely. I think Oliveira can win any fight.
and
But I
that's
think this is-
someone to open that cut up too.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think I don't want him to pull out. Obviously, I wanted to see him fight Makhachev at 294, but obviously we didn't get that, and we got Volk versus Makhachev too, and
That was just
obviously
unfortunate.
that was horrible. I did not like watching that fight, but
Nobody wanted to watch that
I
fight.
just want to see Oliveira fight. He needs another win under
He does.
his belt to even go and challenge Makhachev again.
No, he has the argument that he could get that fight.
Already?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean-
After beating Beneil Dariush, who was, I believe, 3 at the time.
you mean if he drops out, if he pulls out of this fight?
No, then maybe not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love
I mean, Oliveira still needs to win first, and against what is it, Sarukian?
So Armin Tsarukyan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough fight. I haven't watched a lot of Sarukian, but
It's his
I mean-
toughest fight in the UFC, I think,
Yeah.
outside of Islam Makhachev.
Yeah, it is.
yeah. But I mean, I don't think he'll pull out. I think he'll be fine. Again, like you said, he's got 3 weeks to heal it up. I mean, it won't be fully healed by the time he fights, but I mean, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll power through it.
What do you guys think of that fight? How do you think that will go?
I told you before the show, Armin's dangerous. He's probably the most dangerous.
Armin's dangerous, but his defense is bad. His striking defense is bad. Martuz Gamrot hit him with a clean
Yeah,
shot
yeah.
that almost knocked him out, and that Martuz Gamrot won that fight with.
Yeah. But he already fought Islam, too. He lost,
He
remember?
lost to Islam,
So
yes.
you win this fight. I assume you get the winner of Islam will fight Poirier, right? I
No,
assume.
no.
No?
You don't think so?
It comes down to this
Even though
fight.
he wants him? It comes down to this
Whoever
fight?
wins this fight is getting the championship shot.
I
100%.
actually
Islam's hurt right now, so it's
I
gonna
want
be
to
a lot.
touch on that then because we just had the last UFC event where Poirier won, and all the rumors were afterwards was Islam and Poirier.
Yeah, well, he
You
called
don't
him
think
out.
that's happening?
Islam wanted him, or he
Yeah,
wants
yeah,
him.
it's not
Islam
gonna
does
happen.
want him.
How long is Islam out
Poirier needs 2 more.
I think Poirier probably needs
needs
another
one-
fight or
he needs
something,
another
but
fight.
he's the type of guy where like it's the name.
Yeah, but so is Oliveira.
That's true, but Oliveira's
true.
fighting.
That's what I'm saying. But if he wins, he
I mean,
gets
I
a
guess
shot.
that is true.
And
They're
Armin's,
fighting only a month
Armin's
apart.
4 right now. So
And Poirier's what, 3? Or is he lower than that?
Poirier,
he's
I think
three.
it's
So this is a
3 or
title
2.
eliminator
Well,
then?
Gaethje's 2.
Yeah,
Poirier's 3.
essentially.
Title
yeah.
eliminator.
Yeah, it's a title eliminator. In my opinion, I mean, I could be wrong, but this is just speculation. But this really should be what is the title eliminator.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Both
Yeah.
of them have earned title shots.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, it's going to be good, and I mean, who knows? But let's move on from headlines. Going into over/under, I'm going to give you guys some stats from different fighters. You guys are going to have to guess if this number is over or under the stats shown. Technically, I'm supposed to be a part of this, but I think I saw them already. So just to, play on the safe side, I'm not going to. But coming up first, Sean O'Malley couldn't get the finish at 299. Has O'Malley finished more or less than 6.5 fights since his UFC debut?
Beat Paiva.
Going
knocked
through
out
the head.
Wineland. Knocked out
Sterling.
Finished
I'll go less.
Moutinho.
Less?
Less than 6.5 out of
Yeah, I'm going
All
less.
right, so
20.
are we counting contender series because he finished that guy?
I mean,
believe
the
he finished
UFC
his
That's
first
five.
season.
That's 5 then.
I think it's 6.
Six.
It's a
I
UFC
think it
debut,
is
so,
6. I'm
I
gonna go
mean,
under.
I'm going to go over. I want
Over?
to see. I want
It's
to
going to be a little bit different.
think it'll be 7.
I got some good news for the people who went lower. It is lower. It is
Is it
6 fights. He's only finished 6 fights his entire career.
Only.
Only, yeah. I mean,
what, 19 fights? He couldn't
Yeah.
finish 7?
yeah, what a bum, right?
Honestly.
Moving on, Charles Oliveira won 34 fights in the UFC. Has he finished higher or lower than 29? Am I reading this right? Has he finished higher or lower than 29.5 of his opponents in these wins?
Does he
make
have
sense?
29 out of
Okay.
So-
over under 29 and a half
Oh, yeah,
finishes
I-
and 34
well,
wins?
It's lower, I think.
Well, he has
Yeah,
the
it's
record, and the
definitely lower.
record,
It's
I think
not-
it's 17 or 19. I could be
Yeah.
wrong. Could be. It's in that 20 to
definitely not
17
30.
range. I think it's in that range for the record, and he holds it for finishes. So I think it's definitely lower.
Yeah, it's lower.
Lower.
I mean, Charles
It's
Oliveira.
MMA, not UFC.
okay, so this is MMA,
Okay,
not
this is
UFC.
MMA.
So
I
all
think
of
it's
these
higher.
MMA
He came into
career-
like the UFC on like his 3rd or 4th fight. So still,
It's lower.
I think it's
I
still
think it's
lower.
higher.
lower.
I mean, he subs a lot of people. He still has knockout power. I think out of his 34, you don't see Charles Oliveira going the distance most fights.
yeah, when was the last time he went the distance?
How many total fights does
But
he
the,
have?
but the record in the UFC is like around 17
But it's not
20.
UFC.
But he
It's all
came in when
MMA.
he was 21. He was
Okay.
only had like 4 fights
Okay,
outside
listen,
the
I'm
UFC.
just the host.
Yeah.
I'm going higher.
Higher? You
I'll go
both going
lower. I'll go lower again.
Well, this says 31, so higher. You got it. I don't know if I should stat check or you should stat check. Somebody's got to stat check here. Somebody's wrong. I'm going to say I'm right. I trust my guys. I trust
Okay.
Wells.
Well,
I
if
trust
it's
Chooch.
like
the
total
writers.
MMA, I can see that.
total
But this could have meant like also like fights in the schoolyard. Like I don't
He
know.
went to a decision. I'm trying to think right now. Yeah, whatever.
Listen,
no
it's
idea.
higher. It's 31.
All right. That's
Next one. Alexander Volkanovski recently lost his featherweight belt to Ilya Taporia. Did he have higher or lower than 4.5 straight title defenses before this fight? I feel like this one's pretty easy.
Higher, yeah.
Yeah, it's higher.
it's five.
Two
It's higher.
Holloway, Brian Ortega,
Korean zombie.
Yair.
Korean zombies in there.
Korean Zombie, and Yair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's 5.
Five.
It is
But
5.
they wanted, yeah.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to count him going out of division to fight Islam as a.
No, because that's
Right.
not a
It's
title
not technically
defense,
a break, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Petr Yan won his last fight against Song Yadong. Has Petr won higher or lower than 8.5 fights in the UFC? This is a good question because he was like really dominant in the beginning there.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be probably one of.
I thought he was unbeatable.
I thought he was unbeatable too. I'm trying to think of everybody he's.
Well, he got
fought
screwed
right
a
now.
couple times.
Yeah.
I didn't think he got screwed.
He did. He
Well,
did.
the Sterling.
What, the Sterling disqualification? I
Yeah,
mean,
but I
it's
thought
not
he
getting
actually lost
screwed,
the
but
O'Malley and Sterling fight.
Yeah,
and
he definitely
my
lost the
scorebook.
second Sterling fight.
Yeah.
he just tore his ACL today, by the way. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Petr
Yeah,
Yan.
we-
Or he tore his ACL. He tore his
Yeah.
ACL in the fight. He announced it today.
Wow.
That's
We
what
should have had a segment on just like reviewing the last card because like what? Well, who broke his arm? Was it Jack?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dylan
Jack
Dylan
Miller,
broke his
yeah.
arm in half. The X-ray is insane. Anyway, back to this. Higher or lower?
Oh,
What are you going
I'm
with?
going to say lower. I
This
mean,
one's tough.
Hagen.
it's
I'm gonna go lower.
tough. I have
because
no
he
idea.
got to the top.
I'll go lower.
He beat Jose.
I'll go lower.
He
He
got to the top quick.
had like 3 losses in
Yeah, I'm
what,
gonna go
5
lower.
fights? Or,
Lower?
yeah.
Oof.
That was
It's
wrong.
higher. It's
Oh.
9.
That's-
It is 9. I mean, you're going through it pretty in depth though, so I can't blame your.
Pat's using all the cogs in his
Yeah, I
head.
can't
Yeah, I'm
blame
trying.
your
I can't go back
method
to like
here.
when he was on early prelims back in the day. That's hard.
Still
Back in
darn
the day,
good, though.
like you're not.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, Dustin Poirier knocked out Saint Denis at UFC 299. Does Dustin have higher or lower than 16.5 knockouts in his UFC career?
Knockouts?
That's a
11 and a half.
11.
11 and a half.
11 and a half. I could say, yeah. No.
Does he have higher or lower than 11?
I honestly cannot think right now.
I don't know.
I don't know if you
I'm
called
just
the
gonna go
doc-
lower.
the
It's
doctor
tough to
stoppage
think that
for
he has-
McGregor. I don't know if they call
Been
that.
fighting since like 2014.
That's a knockout. That's a
That is a
yeah.
knockout.
So,
You know what? For
So
the,
he's
I'll go
2
higher for the
knockouts
fun
against
of it.
McGregor.
He's been in
right?
it for a while.
Yeah.
so this is KO, TKO, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
I'll go higher.
I don't know it.
11 and a half.
I'm going higher.
11 and a half. I gotta go higher.
Oh.
So I guess it's higher, 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was
Right?
11.
Okay.
All right.
11 and a half.
All right, yeah. So it's
That's
higher,
all right, all right,
16.
it's cool.
Okay, yeah.
It's all good.
not
I
yours.
still enjoyed that segment at least. Moving on, another fun segment. I actually really, when I got the message saying, "No, give me this pick," I really was looking forward to it. Guys, you're going to choose the moment, the card, the fight, the punch, anything where you became a true fan of the MMA. Ryan, I'm gonna swing it over to you first. What was the moment that you became an MMA fan?
Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski 1 was the first
Great fight.
MMA fight that I ever watched.
Really?
Yeah,
So you're really new.
very new.
Okay, good for you.
It was. I really thought Volkanovski won that fight. It was very. I don't know how Makhachev had it unanimously, but I mean, Makhachev. I mean, I wanted Volk to win. Obviously, I didn't know literally anything about UFC. I wanted Volk to win because I was like, oh, he's an Aussie. I like his walkout song, whatever. And then that fight, being how close it was the best like rush, adrenaline, nervousness that I've ever seen in sports. And that was the moment I knew. I was like, yep, I love this sport. I want to keep watching it, keep following these fighters that I want to watch fight.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the best fights I can remember in my recent memory.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it was up there with fight of the year for me.
That's going almost a year right now, right? Like that fight was almost a
April?
year ago.
Was it April of last year?
Yeah,
Great fight.
Right around, I think it was Easter weekend last year.
I think it was.
I mean, if you're going to be a new fan, if that
And-
that is one of the best fights you can watch for your first fight.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that,
absolutely.
That's
I
insane.
couldn't tell you who else was on that card, but
Was Taporia on this card too?
I don't think so.
I have no
don't think
idea.
so.
No, Yair Josh Emmett was the interim.
That's what it
that
was.
fight.
That's
Exactly.
what it was.
And it seems like whenever the Dagestanis fight, just the level
see a lot
of
of Dagestanis.
right, like
Yeah.
the crowd just on another level.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
but it was
Yeah.
just a great fight.
You know,
and
I
it
can't
was
stand them.
Fantastic
amazing.
You can't stand them.
Stand them.
Pat, good
Totally.
thing. Here's your moment to talk about your favorite, or I guess what you got you into the. I don't know what I'm saying. Pat, just talk. Start talking so I can stop.
I had to pick two because I'm a difficult man to impress. So my first one is Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira. This is the first card. I'm early to the sport as well. I haven't been into it for a couple of years, just since I believe this is 2021 when this fight happened, maybe late 2020. I don't know why I'm forgetting right at this moment.
Might be 2020.
But this is a phenomenal
It's
fight.
definitely 2021.
If you
Maybe
want to watch
2022.
UFC, it's a phenomenal fight to go back and watch. Charles Oliveira was down and out. Michael Chandler had him, but he survived through it. And then in the third round, I believe,
Yeah.
he came back and knocked him out. And now he's my favorite fighter. And it was just because of that moment. And he went through, I believe it was like 20-something UFC fights where
Yeah.
everybody thought he was a quitter. Everybody thought he was all this and that. And they were talking about it on the broadcast. That's why I have to love this fight. My second fight is because I'm a difficult man to impress. And it's difficult to buy my love. I don't go cheap.
Okay.
I had to go back and do some more research
man,
into
I
some of
was
the
gonna
best
pick
fights of
this
all
one.
time. Robbie Lawler, Rory McDonald 2 is the greatest fight in UFC history. I don't want to see a debate by any other fight that has ever happened in the UFC. I mean, there are other ones that are great. Nothing is as great as this fight. If you have a chance, go back and watch it. It is entertaining. It is a bloodbath. It is everything you
Yep.
want out of a UFC fight. It is technical. It is brawling. It is everything.
Yeah. I'm not listening. I'm not going to disagree. Those are two
Yeah.
pretty good picks.
It is
I mean,
the
you
greatest
just
fight
look at the
ever.
picture. I
It
mean,
is.
you can tell it's a dogfight. Robbie
lips
Lawler's got
split up.
yeah, Robbie Lawler's got
eyes
that
Yeah.
swollen
Yeah.
split.
up. Jeez.
I
My
mean-
lips get cracked from the cold, and I think I'm
And
dying.
at the end, there was respect between them. There wasn't any fight
yeah.
like Conor.
Yep, that's all you can
and
ask for.
Khabib.
Austin, I already see yours. This is a fantastic pick.
It is the scariest
We're watching it
knockout
earlier.
in the history of the. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, he was.
Oh my
he was,
gosh.
You know, he was like a board. He was stiff as a board. When Overeem fell, his toes were just peeled up. Like it was just a scary sight. This was like the first fight, like you said. It was like the first fight that I actually like sat down and watched. When it was 2017, so I'm a
Yeah,
little kid,
yeah.
scared. I'm not gonna say, you know what I mean.
Scared of
I'd be scared of
I'd be
Francis Ngannou too.
And
Guy's
this was like his first like notable fight. Ngannou's first notable fight in the UFC too was against Overeem.
Yeah.
That I think, that is the uppercut.
Yeah.
Uppercut, that's
with
that's
the
the
left
uppercut.
too.
And then
I mean,
and then after that, hammer fist when he's already
Oh,
when he's already
When
done.
he's like,
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Dan Henderson H-bomb he did on Michael Bisping?
Yeah,
Where he-
yeah.
Oh, that was bad. That was a bad knockout. I mean, this is
those always make me cringe when they're already out and they come down. Like, I think Poirier hit Saint Denis with one the other week, not
Yeah,
as bad as any
they
of
did.
those.
Masvidal said it best. It's my job
Yeah.
to keep fighting. It's the ref's
Make
job
sure
to
it's done.
make sure it's done.
Yeah.
yeah.
Listen, those were
I
good ones.
respect
Mine, I obviously in high school and stuff, whenever there's a big card, big fight, I knew it was happening, right? McGregor's fighting Khabib, I knew it. I watched it. Khabib, McGregor's fighting Aldo, I watched it. But when I really watched the fight, I don't know why I was judging you guys being, that new. This happened 2021?
Yeah,
so I don't know
something
why
like
I was
that.
like, oh my God, you guys are young bloods or something. But anyway, I kept track with UFC loosely before this fight, but this fight on is when I really, really hunkered down, watched nearly every single card since. And this is why Dustin Poirier is my favorite fighter. First off, this card in general was great. This was Chandler's first fight in the MMA or the UFC. Hooker was in there. I believe, did he beat Hooker, Chandler?
Yeah, but I don't think this was that fight.
Yeah, it was that card.
Was it?
Yeah, that card for sure. Where it was just a great fight. I forget where I was, but I remember watching this fight. McGregor's first fight, he fought Cerrone, and then this one.
This is his comeback fight.
What a fight this was. Poirier, just showed off why he's one of the best boxers in the UFC currently and in a long time, maybe ever. The pinpoint accuracy in which he threw those punches in that sequence, and then the staggering one. Oh my gosh,
Max
this
Holloway's
fight.
pretty good. I'm just gonna
Yeah, and who beat Max Holloway twice?
up in a weight class.
Doesn't matter. He still beat him twice. Anyway, this is why Dustin Poirier is my favorite fighter. I love McGregor too. It's not like I didn't like McGregor, but Poirier, this fight got me into UFC as much as I am today, and I think that's why I probably like Poirier so much. And they had they had respect after this fight, and then it all went to down south in the third time they fought. But
This is the most respectable Conor McGregor choice you could have made. Because
Oh,
every other
yeah.
Conor McGregor
Yeah.
fight didn't make us UFC fans, it made us McGregor fans.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, but this one, I can see why I made you a UFC fan. I respect this pick.
And it's like you knew McGregor, the hype going into it. I think I watched it at a friend's house where there's people over. So even people that knew no idea what fighting was it's McGregor. So it was electric. It was awesome. Watching UFC with people is always fun because whenever there's a knockout, people have no idea what's going on, but if they see someone get knocked out, they go crazy.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But I like that segment. Moving on, would you rather, guys? Answer these 3 would you rather questions pertaining to UFC. First up. These are pretty interesting questions. Would you rather be submitted or knocked out? I don't think either looks very fun, but what's your guys' answer?
I don't think it's even close. If anyone's picking knockout here, they're ridiculous because that means you're getting hit in the head really, really hard. I'd rather get submitted. And people say it's the manly thing to do. It's
Which
the
submission?
weak thing to do. Well, if I was going to do anything, it'd be a rear naked choke. I'd rather tap out to it.
Tap real quick.
It's tap
Let it go.
What happens
I'm
if you
just
can't
gonna
tap?
say- Huh?
What happens if you can't tap? You can't tap out of a knockout.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're Charles Oliveira, then you can.
But this particular submission here,
Yeah, I don't want that.
I don't want to be in any
want that.
submission, but I'd rather than get hit in the head really hard and have to focus on that for the rest of my life.
Okay, true.
You can recover from this. And people say it's the weak thing to do. No, it's not, because you're going to get put to sleep. And either
I
way,
just
if
won't
you
beat
get put
you.
to sleep
Mainly
or you break your arm, you are out of the fight.
Yeah.
So just hedge your bets and tap.
Yeah. Austin?
I have to agree with the submission. You rather get
You
knocked
disagree?
out?
I'm getting knocked out.
You get knocked out?
Put me to sleep. I'd rather get knocked out than struggle for 15 or 20 seconds to breathe or feel my arms.
That's very true.
I'd rather have it be quick.
But you're not going to feel it tomorrow.
Get put out.
If
Wake
I
back up.
get knocked out, if I don't wake up, I wake up in a
Concussion?
hospital. I'm just like, oh yeah, whatever. It's fine. I'm not trying to get my shoulder snapped out of my socket while someone's trying to do an armbar on me or choke
I guess
me
it
out.
depends on
I'm
what
not
kind of
doing
submission
that.
it is. Because if it's an arm bar,
Yeah, it really depends on
like,
the
I don't want to
submission.
wake up in a hospital with a hematoma and a
Okay,
concussion.
what about a knockout or an arm bar?
I'm still going with the arm bar.
Okay, what if he breaks your arm?
I tap out.
What if you can't
Tap
tap
out
out?
in
I'm
what?
changing
What
the
do you
question.
mean?
What if you can't tap out?
You can
What
always
if-
tap out. What sport are you talking about now? We're talking about UFC.
Okay, fair.
so you tap 3 seconds.
Let's say
Tap.
you're
tapping.
Let's say your arms are restricted. You can't tap out.
What?
Answer this question. I want to know. If you can't tap out, or which would you choose?
We're making up imaginary
yes,
scenarios now?
yes. This is. Yeah.
We
I'm
go
getting
arm
knocked out
bar.
because I don't want my arm to be broken.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's one submission. There's hundreds.
Yeah.
I'd rather be putting it on a pot.
Listen, I'm just wondering.
Just going off the photo here that they gave us.
Yeah.
Regardless, I think I'd rather be knocked out. Would you rather take a full power punch from Francis Ngannou, we're just talking about that, or a full power leg kick from Alex Pereira?
After my pick for the new fan,
yeah.
it's definitely not going to be this.
He would kill me. That would kill me.
He's
What he did, Alex?
the world record punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to get hit with that. It's like a Mack truck going at full speed is what it was like compared to or something. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but It's the most vicious thing you can get hit with. I mean, Tyson Fury couldn't even take that punch.
That is
Very true.
I mean, he got knocked out though. Anthony
Yeah.
Joshua. I mean, you could say
He got folded. He got folded.
Yeah, he got
Yeah.
folded. I mean,
That-
some say
that
it's
was
scripted
brutal.
or whatever, but
was not
I mean,
Who knows? Ryan,
I'm taking the leg kick.
continue.
I'm taking the leg kick.
Okay.
There's no way I'm gonna be able to take a punch from Francis Ngannou.
yeah.
What was your
He's not even
final?
the hardest leg kicker in UFC history.
He's a great kickboxer, though.
He's a great kickboxer. His leg kicks would hurt. They would suck.
He's not
Who is- who you
the
choosing
hardest
now?
leg kicker.
As the hardest?
Yeah.
That's in Barboza.
Okay. That's fair.
And you said
Maybe
nobody
rattle
would
that
know.
off quick.
That punch would kill me. Oh, but also, going back for a second, where is it?
Make
It's
your face.
okay. Never mind. I didn't read something. Never mind. Would you rather have 5 title defenses or a double champ? Finally, a good one. The last 2 were like, would you rather just get beaten up and hospitalized?
Yeah.
This one's a pretty good one. Would you rather have 5 title defenses or be a double champ? Who wants to start us off? Ryan?
Ooh, I feel like I'd rather be a double champ. Going up a weight class to get another
pretty
belt, I feel like that rush is just like amazing because if you have 5 straight title defenses, you're gonna fight at least 2 of the same opponent, or, I mean, in Volk's case, he fought
Yeah.
Holloway twice, Yair once,
Ortega.
Ortega, and then
Korean Zombie.
Korean Zombie.
Korean Zombie.
Like he fought Max Holloway
Before,
twice. I'm
That's
really
true.
not trying to fight the same guy twice, because at that point it's like, oh, I feel like I can beat him, and then you go in cocky and you lose. But obviously that's not what the title or the question is asking. I mean, I feel like double champ's just a better, not story, but I mean, yeah, story. You can say, oh yeah, I went up a weight class
And
to
still won.
and still
Yeah.
won. Like I know how good I am.
You're in an elite class too.
Exactly.
How long would we hold? You know, like,
Ooh.
you know what I mean?
It's a good
Like,
question.
How long we hold the
Because
belt?
yeah,
Most
because
double
if we,
champs surrender their lower belt.
yeah.
I'm just saying.
but
it typically
if you
happens
defend your
except for
title,
Amanda
because a
Nunes.
lot of people say you're not the champ until you defend it once.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah, that's
defend
true.
it 5 times. I mean, I don't know. It's tough.
I don't. This is
It's
good
a tough question.
Yeah.
I think I'm going with 5 straight
Yeah.
because I think
I
that puts
think-
your legacy.
Yeah,
That
I
puts
think-
you in the GOAT
I think I
conversation.
would
Puts you in
too.
the
To be
GOAT.
honest
Well,
with
puts
you.
you in the
Just,
GOAT of your
just
weight
look
class.
at Volk.
Yeah.
Unless
You
you're
know?
like a light heavyweight or
Yeah,
middleweight
Volk's
or
in that
welterweight.
Yeah.
conversation.
Volk's in the
Just
the
from beating
conversation.
up
I
on-
think he's the greatest featherweight ever. I mean, Aldo had 7, he had 5, but he was against better competition, and he beat Aldo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go 5 just because of the legacy that comes with it, because I don't know how many I'm going to get if I can do double champ. I mean,
Yeah.
it's an elite class to be in with Cejudo, DC, Nunez, and Connor, but that just means more for your legacy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Gotta remember though, he's triple C.
Yeah.
Gold medal.
Also, playing devil's advocate, I know this isn't the question. He fought for another belt too, so you could have both. I know that's not what this question is, but
And he won that belt.
He did win that belt.
Yeah,
He
back to
did
your
win
point
that belt.
earlier.
He
I
did win
agree.
that belt.
I agree. Yeah.
I don't know.
That fight was rigged.
I don't know if it was
Unanimous.
rigged. I can see how Islam won.
Yeah. Well, first off, before we move on, I just want to say we were supposed to have 360 Sports Moment of the Day, and I walked here with my Jets coat on, saying, you know what, Mike Williams signed with the Jets. I'm going to bring that up in the 360 Moments of the Day. Mike Williams is a New York Jet. Jets are in the Super Bowl. That's all I wanted to
What
say.
about baseball?
Do you
Baseball's
have to
back.
bring it up in every conversation?
I didn't. People brought it up to me, actually. He brought it up to me. First person I walked in, he said, hey, hear about Mike Williams? I said, yeah, I did.
Of course, you have a contact to them.
Are you gonna be up 6:05 a.m. MLB?
Watching baseball, absolutely.
I mean, we are bringing
Seoul,
it up to
South
60
Korea?
minutes of the day.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
I mean,
Baseball, I mean,
and
I did my
there's
fantasy
March
baseball
Madness
draft
on
last
tonight.
night. I'll talk about everything right now.
I'm going back to my apartment tonight, watching the first 4 games, Colorado, Boise State.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I can't wait for that.
This is a great moment for sports. And once again, this March Madness, these NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, MLB starting up, NFL draft. It's great.
300.
UFC 300.
300.
300 UFC 300. Anyway, enough of us. Tune in tomorrow. I mean, another great cast of people. Is it Frenzy tomorrow? Because last time I
It
said
is Frenzy.
Frenzy
It is
and I was
Frenzy.
wrong.
It is
It's
Frenzy
Frenzy tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Okay. I mean, a lot to talk about in other worlds. I mean, NFL free agency, MLB starting up, like you guys said.
March Madness.
Things are March
Yeah.
Madness. Oh my gosh. I mean, I
All
wish
over
I
the
was on
place
that
right now,
show.
Cade.
I'm going to tune in for sure.
Absolutely.
Are you guys going to tune in?
I'll tune in.
Yeah, I'll tune in. I got
think
nothing
I
I'm
might
to
be
do.
here.
I think I
might
will
be
be
here.
here.
I'll be right here behind that
Yeah,
camera.
yes,
so.
exactly. Getting as close as you can.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. This is what, the second UFC show?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
second.
enjoy doing it.
Yeah, it was
I
fun.
got to do one
Love
after
it.
300 too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
absolutely.
sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
For sure. Book it on your schedule. Probably be. Oh yeah, April 3rd. Yeah, we'll still be here.
Yeah.
April
Anyway.
15th, that Saturday, that
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, let's
April
fire it up.
15th,
Let's go.
tune in.
I'm rambling
Yeah,
now.
send her off.
But yeah, I gotta send it off. I'm getting tired of hearing my own voice. Ryan, Pat, Austin, I'm Cade. This was 360 Sports.
a
I hope
great
you
time.
guys enjoy it.